Hi everyone, Irit here, and today I have oil pastel playtime for you. So a few of you asked if I would film it, and I thought I did. I did. So here we go. Now let's start with a few disclaimers. I am self-taught. I used oil pastels very sporadically and seldom in the past, so my knowledge of them is very limited. I tried to find some online tutorials. I subscribe to the Artists Network, and I don't know, I was trying to find stuff there, and they mostly have more videos about hard pastels, you know, the ones that are like chalk, and I didn't find a lot about oil pastels. I'm sure YouTube has some information, but my point is I didn't do like hardly any research before. I'm sure there are tons of tips and tricks and maybe other products that can make the experience of using these different or kind of get you where you want to go. My point is I really, really know very little about these, but I think there is also something to be said about that if you are like me, if you are self-taught, if you just like to try out new mediums, new products, and play with them, then I think this will give you kind of an idea of what you can do without really knowing what you're doing. So sorry about the lighting. The sun was just setting, and yeah, I really apologize. I try to fix it every time I noticed it's a bit off. I do apologize. But yeah, I was so into this that I didn't really pay attention to the sun. I will fix this as the video goes on. So what I got this set, I showed it in a recent haul. This is the Sennelier 24. There I go, making the lighting a bit better. The Sennelier 24 oil pastel set. This is the portrait set. They have different sets. There's a landscape one, I think, and a still life one. So each one has different colors. I also had in my stash a few other pastels that you can see there on the right side in that pink container. And I have a couple from Sennelier. The other ones are by Schminke, I want to say. They're very similar, the Schminke ones. They are slightly less creamy. I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's what I found. So I'm just thinking, you know, after playing with these in what you'll see here, I can't say that I was, you know, anxious to continue playing with them. I did find it challenging, which, you know, is no surprise since I'm really not familiar with this medium. But I'll tell you what I didn't like. Okay, let's first start with the things that I liked. Obviously, you can get a really nice blend here. These are super, super creamy, and I don't know how these compare to cheaper options on the market. I really don't know. I can't really tell you if this is worth investing in. These are not extremely expensive in my opinion, but they are kind of expensive, and if you use them heavily, then, you know, you can see it's not like a tube of watercolor that will last you forever. I could already see after this playtime some of the some of the pastels were looking very well used. So I don't think this will last you a long time if you use them heavily. I know Sennelier also offer a bigger pastel, like a really chunky ones, which would work better for larger surfaces. So I like the way they blended, and it's really fun. I like the way that you can just, you know, grab color. You don't need to fuss with brushes and pouring out paints and lots of tubes. You can carry these with you, and I think these would be really fun also for studies, like value studies, or just like color playtime. I can imagine these are fun because, you know, you can just grab them and paint, and they're so creamy and so pigmented. You really get a very high color payoff. It's really just like almost like pure pigment, but, you know, it's not a powder. You can just put it to paper. I like how pigmented they are on pretty much any surface. I'll soon move on to that craft side on the left side, and the colors are very, very opaque and very creamy. So that's also nice that you can use them on different type of surfaces, like different color surfaces. You know, with watercolors, mostly you can't really use them on a dark paper because they're, well, depending on the paint, but usually people use watercolors with a lot of water or some degree of water, and they're not very opaque. So yeah, that is definitely fun. I also really enjoyed playing in a smaller scale. You'll see me next moving on to the left side, and there I went a bit larger. I don't know if I like that. I really like the smaller scale. I feel it kind of works better for my sketchy style. And probably I think the first girl that I painted turned out to be my favorite, which is kind of annoying because what does that say about my learning curve? I don't know. But yeah, these were fun to play with. What I didn't like about these is that again, this could be just my lack of knowledge, but once you apply them heavily, they don't play well with others. Every type of like pencil, if you want to add anything, it just scrapes into the layers of pastel. Now, this is nothing surprising or, you know, defective about any product that I'm using. It's just the way it is. So I'm thinking that if I want to incorporate these into my other work or art journal play or whatever, then I would probably start with my other mediums that I want to combine with this, and then these would be more the top layers. See here, for example, I started with my pencil just to create those first lines, and then I obviously didn't have a problem using the pencil because there were no pastel there. So that's what I love about watercolors. You know, they kind of play well with a lot of other things. You can go in with pencils, you can go in with paint, you can go in with pastels, the water-soluble ones, and yeah, that's what I like about them. So I think this is more of kind of a standalone medium, or I just need to figure out how I can make it work. I did feel very artistic playing with it and it was fun. But yeah, I can't say that, you know, this playtime made me fall in love with them. I think I need a little bit more playtime to figure out how these work with my usual kind of workflow. So I don't know. What I also think these would be fun to do, maybe like little canvases and just play with them, because I do love that texture of, you know, that thick oil pastel. It is very appealing to me, but I'm not sure in an art journal, you know. Anyway, I sprayed these with a fixative the day after, and hopefully this will work and they won't transfer to the opposite page. I hope so. I don't know. Maybe I'll tear out that girl in the middle. And yeah, because I kind of like the girls or the images on the right side more than I did with this one. So yeah, I don't know. I guess I think it's a bit presumptuous or kind of unrealistic to expect to have a very decisive solid opinion about something when you use it so, so briefly. So I can't really say that this is my final opinion and here are my impressions and whatever. I don't regret buying these. I think they're really, really fun and beautiful. I just think I need to, I think next time I'll use them, I'll start with maybe do a background with some watercolors or something, and then go in with a little bit of the oil pastels, because I think that would be more my style. So yeah, I did find these. I think these are fun to practice some shading and kind of contours of the face. I find painting faces and doing all the shading work, I don't know, the word shadow is stuck in my head. The shading work, sometimes I find it difficult with watercolors. I think it also has to do with the fact that I don't use necessarily like traditional colors that you would use in a portrait. And you can see also here in these ones, I was playing around with different colors. And especially here, I was trying to see how the brighter colors that I have work on that face, because that's what I really enjoy. I also want to give a shout out to Mindy Lacefield. If you're not familiar with Mindy, she has fantastic online courses, and I learned a lot from her. I wish I could take all her courses. I really find watching her paint is so inspiring and so fun. She has a very kind of childlike style, but not in a simple way. I don't know. I really respond well to her work. I really enjoy seeing what she creates. And I learned a lot about painting faces from her, and also in general, her philosophy of creating and painting really spoke to me. So if you want to try painting faces in a very loose, raw, sketchy way in watercolor or other mediums, check her out. She has a ton of classes, and you can find also like smaller classes and larger classes. She does sales every once in a while. When she retires a class, she has good deals. So check that out. And I was definitely inspired by things I learned from her when I was creating these faces. So here I wanted to see how kind of, bright and opaque and just blended I could get these colors to be. And you can see it's very opaque and quite intense colors. So all in all, I had fun. I hope this kind of helped you. Let me know in the comments what you think. What's your experience with oil pastels? If you have any tips for me or other people watching. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.